Hi everybody, welcome back to the Young Grower. So in this video we're going to be planting out our sweet potatoes. These sweet potato slips have been grown from the sweet potatoes I grew last year, but I'm hoping they will produce even better this year. Fingers crossed. We did 4 varieties last year and only 2 of them were successful, the others were very small. So we decided only to do the 2 good ones, and that is the Beauregard and the Carolina Ruby. So I've already been in the Polytunnel today and I've been preparing the compost for growing them in this year, because I'm using the same compost from last year, but I'm going to replenish the soil with lots of nutrients to allow them to grow. Because if you think about it, you don't replace your compost outside every year in the raised bed, you just add extra nutrients for them to continue to grow. After a few years I will replace them just to give them the best chance, but for this year adding extra nutrients is perfect. So I've already added some bloodfish and bone. And then I also added some fresh compost, and then to finish it off I added a good amount of natural grower slow release fertilizer, and I gave that all a good mix in. And we will also give them the feed throughout the season with liquid fertilizer, just to give them as much nutrients as they need to get abundance of sweet potatoes. Hopefully that is the plan. Last year I completely neglected them, but I still had a good harvest. So I'm hoping this year, with doing this and not neglecting them and giving them all the feed they need, watering them, that we're going to get hopefully some big sweet potatoes. Fingers crossed, but you never know with gardening. One year you could have great success, the next year you may not. So let's just see what we get, and anything is a success in my books. So this year I've invested in a drip irrigation system for all the buckets and the polypots, just to make it a lot easier for watering. And that was the main reason I neglected them last year, was I forgot to water. And with how hot it gets in here, how hot it is today, I don't want to be coming in and having to water every single one. That's why we've got all the self-watering systems. And now we've got one of these set up, and it's just a reservoir up here with some tubes going down, and then there's hose in the piping that it drips. And I've just worked it around them all, and I will give them a good watering when I plant them, and then I'm hoping this way will just keep that water topped up and stop it from completely drying out. So as you've probably noticed, I am growing them under a shelf. So I put the shelf up just to make my salad planter a lot higher, but as you can see there's a lot of sun still getting under there. So I'm quite optimistic that these will do brilliant under here. I can't see why not. As you can see, that none of it is in shade. And I'm also going to plant one just over here as well, because we've got the space. So as I mentioned earlier, I replenished the soil by adding nutrients, but I have added some BioBloom from Greenhouse Sensation. It's just going to help enhance the nutrients and that in the soil. It's first time using this stuff this year, but I've used it on all of my tomatoes, and they're nearly double the size of the ones down the bottom that haven't had it. So it's definitely worth it. So I'm going to add that to that. I've just got to give it a little mix in. I'm literally just going to do that. So now I've shown you where the sweet potatoes are going to be growing. So now let's have a look at the sweet potato plants. Like I said, these have been grown from my own potatoes I grew last year. So I didn't do anything special. I was planning on doing some of these myself, but then the sweet potatoes just started to grow. So I just put them in a jar of water. They rooted, and they give me lots of slips. So when it comes to sweet potatoes, they're not like normal potatoes. You don't have to plant the potato. You know, when you chit a potato, you get the shoots come up. Similar sort of thing with the sweet potatoes, but with them, you end up breaking off the slit and putting it in some water to root, and then you plant a sweet potato just like that. So I've already planted some in some compost just because they were ready before these. I'm actually going to be giving some of these away. I know Dean's lost a plot wants some, so I'm going to get some of them sent over to him. I've got an abundance, and just down here is the ones that I'm actually going to be planting. I only need 9 plants, so I want 4 of the Carolina Ruby. What are these ones? And then I'm going to plant all these 5 Beauregard. They're all doing really well. There's some dead leaves, but that was from before I repotted them. So we're going to get these planted. So to start off with, we will do the Beauregard. We'll put Beauregard in these 4 30-litre buckets. And these are grown in the pint cups I use for my sweet peas. And this is going on the 3rd year that I've used them. There we go, we have some nice roots on that. I'm just going to make a hole with our hand, pull it in, and then backfill the compost and firm it down around. Just like that. So now I'm going to get on with the rest and we'll catch up after. So that is all the Beauregard planted, and also planted one just there. And now we have the Carolina Ruby to do, and we're going to plant 4 of them just here. And there we go, that is all the sweet potatoes planted. They look absolutely beautiful. We've mulched them with some of the soil conditioner from Natural Grower just to help retain some of the moisture as well as giving it some extra nutrients. The irrigation system seems to be working. I may need to have a play around just to make sure it's reaching every single one of them, but we're going to give them a good watering now just to get them in and get them going. So I think now that is pretty much everything planted in this polytunnel. I don't think we've got anything else to grow in here. I don't think we've got any more room. As you can see, the tomatoes are getting absolutely huge. Yeah, and they're starting to produce loads of tomatoes already, what is brilliant. And then all on this side, we have all the melons, cucumbers, peppers, giant tomatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes. Yeah. It's pretty full. So we've already give some of the sweet potatoes some of the bio grow before we planted it, and later in the year we'll add some of the bio bloom. I think we can add it to this. Well, we're going to try, we're going to see what it does, and hopefully it increases the yield. And then throughout the season we're going to be using this as a feed as well as a foliar spray. Yeah, it's a bio enhancer. It's a blend of humus acid, seaweed extract, other bits, some of the words I'm not even going to try to pronounce. It increases the vitality of the plant, enhances the uptake of nutrients, and improves the quality of the soil. So that is absolutely amazing, and because we're reusing the compost, the more we add to it to enhance it, the better in my books. Yeah, so we're going to start using this, and we'll do this every 2 weeks with a water feed. And then we can do a foliar spray as well, and I think that might be every 2 weeks. But we'll have a look, we'll look a bit more into it. But I can't wait to try and to see what it does. I'm not showing you this to tell you to go and buy it. You can if you want to. It's literally, I have no idea what it's going to do. They sent me some of this stuff, and yeah, I thought why not share it together and see what it does. I thought if it does really well for me, it can do really well for you. And anything that is better for us to grow is, worth sharing and worth talking about. So I don't think we've got much else to say today. If I do, I'm going to start rambling about other stuff, and I want to keep this video just about the sweet potatoes, getting them planted, and we will follow these throughout the season and see how they get on. Hopefully this drip irrigation system does the job. If not, it's just inside and I don't mind watering it. I've got nothing else in here to water, so just watering them isn't going to be too much of a problem, but we're going to look after these this year. Yeah, they're going to live like royalty. That's the plan, hopefully, unless I get a bit distracted like normal, but fingers crossed. Why have you chickens always got to start? What? You're gobbing. So if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, as well as give it a thumbs up. And if you have just recently subscribed, I'd like to say a big welcome and thank you, and I hope you're enjoying the content that I have available. We've got a lot of videos coming. I've pre-recorded about 4 or 5. I need to get around to editing them, but they'll be coming out very soon, and this one here is obviously out as well. I'm so busy recently with starting up my own business that I will do a video about soon. Yeah, there's just a lot of before preparation, that sort of stuff, before it actually becomes a business. I want to do it properly and I want to enjoy my growing season at the same time, so it's finding that balance, yeah. So that's why I decided I'm not actually going to do a June allotment tour, just because I've got so much on, editing it and just walking around it, yeah, it's just going to be too much at the moment. So I think I've shown you a lot of stuff this month, so hopefully that just gives you a bit of an idea of what is growing, and yeah, we can have a proper catch up later in the season when I have a bit more time. But in the meantime, I'm still recording all the seed to harvest videos. I've finished a few of them, the spring onions, the lettuce is done, yeah, so yeah. I need to learn to stop saying yeah all the time. It annoys me. I'm trying not even to edit it out no more because it takes me a while. Anyway, I think on that note, I'm going to finish up for the day. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see each other soon. YouTube have recommended a video for you to watch, and if you're new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, if you click my logo, you'll be able to.